When various countries unite to beat a meteor that will inevitably hit the Earth, the meteor succeeds in destroying it, but the chemicals that explode result in the animals on Earth mutating into terrifying monsters and consuming human blood. Within a year, the human population disappeared by 95%, causing the remaining humans to hide in bunkers. His name is Joel, one of the humans who managed to survive the threat of hungry monsters. His daily life is helping his friends with their daily lives, milking cows, being a bunker chef. Even though he feels taken advantage of, all his friends consider each other like their own family. Joel doesn't have the ability to survive against the monsters. Joel is not skilled at using arrows. Felt something strange. It was true that their hiding place from the monsters had been broken into. One of the monsters had forced their way into their place. Because of this, everyone got ready to fight the monster. Except for Joel, who didn't have enough courage. Seeing one of his colleagues in danger, Joel dared to come out and intend to help his friend. Even though his survival skills were weak, his sense of empathy was really high. Joel checked his surroundings and found one of the monsters in the room whose shadow was visible. This made Joel unable to move, frozen because he was afraid. Instead, he closed his eyes and didn't shoot with his bow. Luckily, his friends came who quickly killed the monster. Time will be turned back to 7 years where we are shown Joel drawing his friend, Amy. The picture is really bad, but Amy actually praises him. That day also coincided with Joel's birthday, so Amy gave him a gift of colored pencils so that Joel would be more active in learning to draw. At that time, the atmosphere was a little hot when they wanted to make the car sway. An emergency warning appeared, which made them scared. Now Joel looks like he is drawing monsters that are quite good than before. After 7 years have passed, Joel still harbors feelings for Amy. Joel often looks for radio frequencies so he can connect anywhere, and by chance he connects with the Amy colony. Joel's mind was still thinking about the car. Joel said that if he could come back when Amy and he were in the car, but unfortunately everything was impossible. Suddenly the radio went dead. Joel remembered the time 7 years ago when they were still together, hugging each other and expressing their feelings for each other. However, now Joel is separated from his other half, Amy, and that makes him miss her and want to hug her. Joel dared to tell his friends where he was going to meet Amy. The distance was 85 miles with a travel time of 7 days. While outside there were lots of monsters ready to pounce on him. Joel said goodbye to his friends. Joel said that they were his best friends who Joel considered like family. Don't forget that one of his friends gave him a map to meet Amy and hug IT as a sign of farewell. Today is Joel's first day out of shelter, breathing air after 7 years of not coming out of hiding. Joel will go west.
This way. This way. Split the difference. Good.
Passing through wilderness and former human civilization, which has now become a place for monsters to breed, Joel finds a house and decides to look around the house. In the pool, there was the sound of bubbling water, which turned out to be a very large frog monster, and it immediately put out its tongue to attract Joel. Luckily, he didn't get hit because he was saved by a dog. The dog led Joel into the van. Joel then thanked him for saving him. When Joel took the dog's dress, he took it. The dress was the dog's owner's dress. When he wanted to rest in the sky, Joel saw the name of the dog, Boy. Today, he rested in the car. The next day, when Joel wanted to continue his journey, the boy followed him. Because they felt they could be travel companions, they went together. While picking berries, Boy forbids Joel from eating them because they are poisonous. Fortunately, animals have sharp instincts. While Joel was enjoying the journey, he fell into a hole, which was filled with skulls. He tried to climb up as best he could, but it was difficult to do. Luckily, someone threw a rope and Joel tried to climb up, accompanied by the appearance of many terrible worms. Minnow immediately blew them up using a grenade, and the old man over there is named Clyde. Joel decided to follow them west, where on the way they happened to be going in the same direction. Meanwhile, Minnow and Clyde will go north to the top of the mountains where there are few monsters. Minnow teaches Joel to use arrows. Joel's archery skills are really bad. Even though he managed to shoot the cactus, he was really far from the target. On his way, Clyde told Joel to take off his clothes. Not without reason, there was a snail monster behind him who liked the smell of Joel's clothes, so he took them off. Clyde said that not all of the evil monsters could be distinguished by the look in their eyes. At night's rest, Joel talks about himself and all the monsters he has ever seen. Joel hopes to find his family who might still be safe. When he was about to rest and sleep, Clyde told them to pack up and continue their journey. When they got good food and enough sleep, there would always be monsters approaching. Now Joel is starting to train in the wilderness. He is starting to get good at using arrows and learn to recognize the surrounding plants such as anti-poison ferns. On that journey, they also found the directions with their respective goals, which made them separate. Don't forget to give him a grenade. Clyde tells Joel to follow his instincts. It was in the forest that the boy suddenly got scared and hid. When Joel persuades the boy to get out and leave, under the ground feet appear, which turns out to be a centipede monster that has mutated to become huge. Joel, with the daily life he spends with Clyde and Minnow, will now show them that the training he underwent was not in vain. However, he was still unable to shoot the arrow, so he was thrown by the centipede monster. That's when he remembered his past, which turned out that Joel's family had been killed. All his mother and father had been trampled by a monster. Because he didn't want to lose anything valuable again, Joel now had the courage to shoot the arrow at the centipede monster, which caused the monster to die. Joel feels different from before, who was clumsy and couldn't do anything. Now he feels full of courage and can't wait to meet Amy. At that place, he met the Mavis robot, which was still on. Mavis said that he only had 51 minutes left of resources. Joel also told him everything he had been through and his goal with Amy. Joel also asked if Mavis could give him a little power to turn on the radio and contact Amy's colony. Joel also said with great longing that he would meet Amy. The distance from Amy was 9 miles. At the end of the time, Marvis exhausted his energy by showing a photo of Joel's parents, who with his advanced technology could find a photo of his parents, and turned on music, which made it even more emotional. The next day, Joel found a very large hole and the ground was moving. What turned out to be a monster, he took the toy and threw it. Joel invited the boy to run as hard as he could to avoid the monster until he fell on the edge of the river and hid in a piece of tree. Luckily, the monster didn't hear the two of them. The boy saw the red dress of its former owner and took it. Realizing that their steps would be known, Joel took a grenade and threw it at the monster. When he was in the water, he felt something strange. Sure enough, when he was on land, he saw that his hands were covered in leeches. Not only his arms, apparently his body was full of leeches. He cleaned them and scolded the boy, and because of that, the boy left. On the way, he felt dizzy and guilty because he scolded the boy who made him leave. The leech turned out to be poisonous, which caused him to get dizzy and almost faint. Joel still tried to stay awake, but his vision was starting to get blurry. Luckily, he saw a fern, which was an anti-poison plant. Joel ate it and kept walking. He met Amy, who he had been looking for, and kissed her. When he realized it was true, he was greeted warmly by Amy, who said that Joel was hallucinating and kissed old Paul. Joel wanted to express his feelings, but Amy instead said that she was busy taking care of her colony. He meets the captain of the ship who will save Amy and invites them to move. That night, Joel expressed his feelings again, stating what he had felt all this time. Joel wanted himself to live happily with Amy, but all his travels were in vain. Amy rejects Joel's love and says everything has changed. It was 7 years ago. Because of that, Joel was a little sad. In the evening, they all gathered around the campfire, and the captain said that he had defeated a large lizard to stories high that climbed up the wall. And the captain said that there was no hope on land except in the sea. Joel, who heard it, objected to his statement, but instead he was depressed by it. Because of this, he felt homesick for his colony and asked about the radio and would contact his colony to ask how it was. When Joel tried to contact his colony, the captain's men suddenly arrived, bringing the captain's beer and food. Joel also opened the map his friends had made. He accidentally found a sweet message from his friend, which turned out to be his true love. What a heart-touching message. Joel has friends who consider him family, who miss him when he is not around. Because of this, Joel rushed to return to the colony. Suddenly, there was a voice on the radio who immediately asked how Joel had been successful for 7 days in the open air fighting monsters. Joel's friends didn't forget to ask, what about Amy? How about his feelings of love? What turned out was that his love was only one-sided. Joel will rush to the colony, but Joel suddenly realized that the food the captain ordered him to serve was poisonous berries. And the story about the lizards climbing the walls was a lie that maybe they had an evil plan to rob the colony of its food sources. Joel rushed to Amy and told her, but Amy was already too drunk from the captain's beer. Many of them were knocked out because they were too drunk. When Joel told Amy, Joel was suddenly hit and passed out. Sure enough, they were all tied up, and Joel's guess was right. Apparently, the captain intends to take food supplies that are difficult to obtain and will feed them to the crab monster, which he controls with a device on his waist. Joel tries to escape. Amy helps Joel escape and will fight the criminals while Joel will fight the crab monster. A fierce battle ensued between Joel and Crab, Amy and the criminals. The captain equipped the crab with a stinger to make it feel threatened and attack Joel. In that second, the boy came and helped Joel to revive Amy, who had fainted because of being slammed by the evil captain. The criminals left everything and took food supplies to the island. Now Joel is left to fight the crab monster with his limited strength. He was almost eaten, but Amy threw the weapon to use. Instead of hitting the monster, he used the electric tool that was used to equip it. His eyes said that the monster was not evil. Joel shoots the device and it's all over. The monster went to the ship where the criminals lived and ate the 3 people. Joel returns home to his colony with a final kiss for Amy, who doesn't love him, but maybe this is a meaningful lesson for him. That there is other love besides Amy, but true love is with Joel's friends and colleagues. On the radio, he broadcast that humanity does not need to be afraid. There is still hope for life in the north in the mountains. Don't stay in the bunker for too long and stay silent. Live and hope. Because of his words, many people listened and came out of their hiding places.